GM, and Merry Christmas Eve to all you DGens that are out here right now, slumming it with us. And I just want to say I respect it. I appreciate you guys rolling out. Rooster, appreciate you coming out as well. This will be a little bit of a shorter episode this week. And you might hear some babies crying in the background, some dogs fighting with each other, or some, adult siblings yelling and arguing with each other. But I mean, that's all part of the season. And that is part of why I had to push this back until what I did. I've been, just spending some time with family the past few days, and it's been kind of tough to be able to get away, but at the same time, really want to just prioritize making these spaces continue making the streak happen. So we are out here right now. Also apologize. Did a giveaway at the beginning of the week, announcing that winner today. I'll pin that up here. So have that winner picked already. Excited to announce that because there are somebody that is in the community already is going to receive that. But there's also somebody that is going to be, from what I didn't even realize, but is going to be a new stonk holder as well. So excited about that. Before I go any further, Mr. Rooster, how are you doing this beautiful Christmas Eve, my man?
Dude, honestly, I've had an entire year in the past week, um, and I'm so overstimulated right now. I don't even know what emotions I'm supposed to be feeling. So since we last talked, I'll run through this briefly because
Yeah. Run through it with me, man.
so since we last talked, Wells Fargo shut down my account on a clerical error and just seized all my cash and couldn't give it to me the day before going to Vegas.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, still don't have my money. Still don't have an account. Like bankless right now, full full crypto. And then yeah, went to Vegas. That was an absolute fucking blast. Um, and speaking of which, Bags and Trader Main want to kick it with us on one of these spaces one time here in the near future. Um,
Yes.
so did that. Cool. Left my keys in Vegas. Realized as I was boarding the plane, car parked at the airport, house key, everything. I was like, motherfucker. But 80s was hurting, so he stayed an extra day. So I was like, yo, can you go to the concierge, mail me my keys back, right? He's like, yeah, I got you. Girlfriend met up with me at the airport with my spares. I drove us home. Cool. Been waiting for my keys. Was supposed to get here Friday. They got delivered a day early. And just put by the front door of the building, not by my door, just, of the building. Well, someone snatched the package, got my keys, stole my car. So now my car is gone. But I'm also up like 50x this week trading Solana shitcoins. So, I don't know how to feel right now, dude. Like, really.
Dude, that is, first off, I'm sorry. Second off, my first question, I want to go in this kind of in order, chronological order of how you went through it all. Do you think you saved money possibly by not having access to the cash this past weekend in
Oh, for
Vegas?
sure. No, yeah. No, me and Nelsonius, we were up on the floor gambling for, a little bit. We were up a decent amount. Then 16 blacks with the green thrown in, hitting a row on roulette and just rinsed us for everything in 5 minutes. He had to get fingerprinted because he hit his bank withdrawals, so I had to do a cash advance. They fucking fingerprinted his ass at the casino for $300. Dude, that shit was funny. No, but met a bunch of pandas out there, all absolute chads. Like every single one of them. It was legendary connections were made. It was raging all weekend. Every single one of them, great people. Uh, and yeah, it was great.
Well, I love that, man. Well, I'm glad you survived. Though that's a tough story. I guess the next question would be: so, have you had any luck with insurance as far as a stolen vehicle? I won't lie. There was a period of time where my old car, I used to go to the basketball court and I would leave my keys out on top of my bag praying that somebody would steal my car just for the insurance claim, because I was like, dude, this thing is just so terrible. My options right now will, like, I would get way more from insurance than I ever would anything else. So if somehow somebody could just please steal this, and I guess it was just too shitty vehicle to actually ever be stolen, because I kid you not, man, like I left the keys just on top of the bag every single day, and it was a sketchy place. There was a lot of stuff stolen from there, and never once did it happen. So, I'm curious, do you have any, or have you had any luck right now with it? Are they still saying they want more proof? Like, what's the deal with that?
Well, I realized my car was missing yesterday morning. So that was when I was going to take a girlfriend to work. I was like, "Oh, look, where's my car, dude? Where's my car?" Like, I looked around the whole parking lot. I was like, because I hadn't left in a day or two, and so got on the phone with insurance. I had them set me up with a rental. I did pay for rental reimbursement, so have them set me up for a rental. I got a car pretty much immediately. I don't know if I want them to find it or if I want it to be totaled, because I do kind of want a new car, but at the same time, my car will last another 200,000 miles, and it's a great car. Sound system is impeccable, and that's like the most important thing for me in a vehicle, is the music. And yeah, so I don't know how to feel right now. I'm not like, you know, I'm not super upset about it. Obviously, I would like my car to not have to deal with this. But at the same time, if they do pay me out and I can go get a new one, I'm also okay with doing that.
Fair enough, man. Well, best of luck with that. That's tough. But I'm glad that you're killing on the Solana, the Solana shit coins at least. Like, there's always, at least right now, the opportunity's given a silver lining, especially if you've just been plugged into the Sol ecosystem. It's been insane, man. I mean, the more and more that we're watching this, like, it is, whether, it may not be a bull market completely across the board. There are areas that are still lagging. But like, there are bull markets right now that are current. Like, I mean, because you're looking at it, it's like even the move right now, typically, like, the way that I define a true bull market is whenever Bitcoin is in price discovery and it's ripping and everything's ripping with it. But when you've got a top five coin that's been ripping like this, and the ecosystem around it's been ripping, and not just that, but like, if you look just at the top couple today, there's not a lot of movement with Bitcoin, ETH, et cetera, pretty flat. But if you go on, Bybit, Binance, whatever else, bro, shitcoins are just ripping 10% plus across the board with a lot of them, right? Like, my Rune position is finally taken off. I've been sitting on it for weeks, and finally I'm like, holy crap, I've got a decent little bag with this. Right. So, there's some opportunity that's happening right now. I'm still a believer. I know there are a lot of people out there that are like, man, ETH is never going to do anything ever again. It's dead. It's easy to feel like that, right? Like when you see an alt L1 that has the spotlight for as long as Sol has, and has had the opportunity cost of parking your capital somewhere else other than Sol right now, it's easy to be able to just write everything off. But in my opinion, I still think ETH does have a decent run coming up here. And it's one of those things where I don't know exactly when that happens, but like, ETH isn't dead. It's not going to die as much as what people say, but the narrative of it being, I don't know, the narrative, I think right now, is at the peak that I've ever seen it for ETH FUD. We're going to
Dude,
eventually rotate back
the
to a
ETH,
point.
the ETH shit talking right now is absolutely insane, and I guess a lot of people, you know, bought the top and haven't been in the cycle before the last one, and they just simply do not understand how palpable the ETH move will be in everything on the ecosystem. Like, I'm talking, like, everybody's like going absolutely insane on Solana right now. But I think just even the sheer volume is going to be 10 to 50 times minimum. And yeah, ETH will eventually just absolutely suck the liquidity dry from Solana again, and you'll see the narrative shift, and it will be completely disrespectful, in my opinion. There is room for both of them. Obviously, great. I think Solana still has a lot of room to grow, but there's just been way too much disrespect on ETH right now.
Yeah, man. It's so point being, typically at the when you start to see this type of just pure death talk, right, is near the relative bottom for that coin, as long as it's not going to die off, right? And I say that because, well, I mean, then at the same time, man, the only thing that I'm really fighting is I've been in that same boat before where previous cycles, it's like, I've been stuck on Litecoin. I've been stuck on, some of these other names that I can list off where I'm like, it's going to take off. And it really never has. So here's the thing I'll say with ETH. I think it will have a season, right? But primarily, like, I don't necessarily think that that means that it's going to have the same type of multiples that, some of the, like, which I mean is obvious, right? When you're the number two market cap, you're not going to have the same type of growth opportunity. So it may be a safer place to park your cash, may still be a safer thing to be able to recommend relatively if you're worried about short-term volatility, etc. But yeah. Anyway, point being, the ETH ecosystem, I think, will end up having some type of life breathed into it sooner rather than later. But yeah, in the meantime, it's just been fun watching things like Soul, watching things like AVAX. I mean, heck, even watching some of these other plays, like, Near just ripped recently. You're having some of these other names that are just starting to pop off a little bit off the base. I mean, heck, looking at the Matic chart, like, dude, it looks it looks coiled and like it is ready to rip out of whatever range it's been stuck in the
Yeah,
past couple.
dude, optimism's up like fucking
Yeah,
70% this week.
I mean, ARB is even popping a little bit, right? Like, we can keep going down the list. Heck, Dot is taking off. Atom is another stable coin that has not moved. um, but we can go down the list, man. It's been fun. I'm going to pause real quick though before I forget. I've got a lot of giveaways to do today. Number one, as I was reading through all of the comments for the giveaway this past week, there was one name that I just saw appear across the board multiple times that I have seen in these spaces. Had no idea that he wasn't actually a stonk owner yet. I want to change that today. So Happenings LLC is going to get a stonk from that last giveaway. So Merry Christmas to Happenings. And I had multiple people that recommended Happenings. So I'm going to give it to the first two people that I saw as far as the submissions were concerned, rather than giving away two songs because I was a little bit late as far as giving it away. I'm going to go ahead and do three. So we've got two easy Trizzy that's going to get another one. So congrats on that, Trizzy. And we're also going to get one for the man, the myth, the legend, Lander as well. So excited to hook you guys up. I will DM each one of y'all as I'm continuing this space right now, but just want to show the love. Excited to do that. And I've got three more stonks to give away this space. And I'm just going to go ahead and break out one of them right now. Like I want to show the love to the co-host again, Rooster, and hook him up. So Merry Christmas to Rooster. With that,
I'd like to forward that song to Willy Wonka.
I was gonna say I've also got some that I'm gonna give away to Willy Wonka. So if you want to add that one to the list of the ones to Wonka, I was gonna give away a couple to Wonka.
Add it to the
So
list unless it's a wonky theme.
so I'm gonna give away then three to Wonka. So shoot, that's up to six right now that I'm giving away, and I've got two more to give away throughout the next like 15 minutes. So we're giving away. I promised that I'd be giving away 10 stonks total this week, and we're nearly there. So I think that actually with these two more that we've got, that basically does get us there after the first space. So, and I might even do a giveaway tomorrow as well. I want to share the love as much as I can during the season. Heck, I'm gonna I might do a little sweep myself sometime here the next week. I feel like it's been I've got to replenish the stock pile, or I guess stonk pile, I should say, after these giveaways. So just for the culture, man.
You hear,
Um,
guys? You have your chance to front run.
yeah, you got your chance to front run me. You heard it. I'm gonna do it. Not sure when. Not gonna give you an exact date, but it's gonna happen. Um, so yeah, man. That's had to knock that out. But if you got some ideas for the last two, I mean, we've got about like I've got maybe 15 or 20 minutes left in the space. Give me some ideas for the last two stonks, man, because I want to do it right, give them away. I mean, heck, we can even come up with an idea for people that are in here. Give one away now, give one away like later this evening, whatever idea you have. I don't know. I'm up for it. Um, I want to make this equitable. I should have done the like retweet thing, so I could have just put it in the randomizer. But oh well. Next time.
Yeah, I'll see if I can come up with something before the end of the space.
I am impressed, bro. We got like 66 people in here on Christmas Eve, so it's kind of cool.
Dude, yeah, ecosystem's popping right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you're in the right groups, which is key to me. Like in all honesty, in my opinion, like that's the biggest difference and the biggest benefit of what NFTs have brought is people together, and it's just way more fun having you don't feel as clouded as well, right? Because other people are looking at this and telling you this and that, and you don't have to try and be like searching everything out yourself. You can focus on a little niche, just finding the right group of between even like as low as 10 people to as high up as 200 people. um, it's key, honestly.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. So I am curious. You've talked about playing with the Soul Shitcoin Casino. Are you plugged in with any Soul NFTs outside of the man, the myth, legend, BTC Arts, Dino Dix? I've got to give a shout out.
Yeah, of course I got a bag of dicks. uh, I got Mad Lads, obviously Pandas. Soul Community is
And
gonna
I
probably.
forget that you did the Soul Panda Mint.
Yeah, that's where this alien is, baby. Pandas actually got a random airdrop from a random shitter that were like, Pandas showed love to the Soul Community in the depths of the bear when everybody was shitting on them, and for that we're gonna send them a allocation of our coins. So you know those three are probably my biggest bags. I'm not sure where the money on Solana is going to flow. If it's going to be, more of like one of one art type deal, or I also got Bankman too, but I'm not really following what they're doing. There was a lot of hype was around them. It was cheap enough, and so I got a few Bankman, see whatever they do as well, um, and yeah, I think that's it for my soul bags. But I know a lot of people are in like the zero monkey biz, which I was looking at for a while, which is from the artist, the same guy who did the ordinal maxi biz. It's one of one art. I don't own any of those, but I know a bunch of the guys in Room 110 are pretty big on them and have been since like it's like $300-400, and they're like $1,500 now. Um, so I know a bunch of them are big on that. And other than that, there's a lot of gaps to be filled in Solana NFTs. There aren't really a lot of top projects right now. There's quite a few like really good ones, and then that's pretty much it. I think there's a large gap to be filled for some new things to come out.
Bro, I was thinking about that the other day, like the Bodagos, for instance. Like, had they launched on ETH, I think they would have been more successful to begin with. Um, but I don't think that they'd be nearly as successful as they are right now. Like, do you think that's a fair statement? And I love the heck out of those guys. Like, respect their, the hustle they put in, the work they put in. I know what they're doing. I'm just saying, in general, I feel like the way they've exploded is because that, you know, Easy decided, like, I'm going balls deep into Soul. I'm trusting this ecosystem, and by being a prominent, consistent figure in the space, just really opened the door for that project to be able to kind of take the spotlight a little bit. Um, and I'm not saying, complete. Obviously, it's not like the number one sole NFT project, but the growth that it's had is really impressive off the depths of, I think it was down to like maybe two soul or something before it started really stepping up. So,
No, yeah.
that's one example that I think of just talking about filling the gaps. It was, hey, when there's not a lot of other people that are really like that, you know, being on an alt chain, outside of ETH does present some of those opportunities.
Yeah, 110%. Because you got quite a few solid projects that hold a ton of liquidity over on ETH, and not as many on Sol. And the thing about the Sol ecosystem is that if you show them love, like, they will ride for you hard. And the opposite, right? If you shit on them, they will do whatever they can to get you 6 feet under. Like, they're very they're extremists for sure. And so that, yeah, and especially after D God's leaving, that created a huge void and bitterness in the community. So people like showing up during the tough times, the community just loves to rock with that.
Yeah. And, dude, even talking about random opportunities, you were talking about a random airdrop for the pandas. Dude, like, shout out to Pythonomics. Like, a guy within our community did a random airdrop for the AVAX side of things. Did you? Yeah, yeah, you were gone for that. Like,
Yeah,
he did
Python was
shout
like,
out. He
"Oh,
gave a
all the
chance to the
pandas are in
Stonk community.
pandemonium, incapacitated."
And
Let's
at the peak, it was worth over 20 AVAX per every single person that he sent it out to, which is insane. And I still think that like it's worth 4 or 5 or something like that, because the AVAX shitcoins like were taking off. They've kind of cooled off a little bit. I still think that they'll continue to go higher when you look at like talking about gaps to be filled. So, even that, like somebody within the community doing something like that, where, just seeing the ways where it I don't know, man, it's just fun being able to see how some of these different initiatives that have started within communities have really taken off, right? And like I think that there's so much more of this. It feels really frothy right now in certain areas. It really does. But when you look at the charts, you're like, like, yeah, some of these are bouncing. And, will we probably have a few months of cool off here sooner rather than later? Probably. Like, I think that we might have a few months of cool off coming up here before things like at one point. I'm not sure when it'll be, but some point early in 2024, we're not going to just continue up only all the way through the end of 2025. Like I mean, if it happens, great. But I'm expecting some type of cool off where some of the alts, everything else, kind of a little bit of steam is taken off. Maybe there's some type of FUD with the ETF. Who knows what it is? Like something's going to happen and the market's going to cool off a little bit. And at that point, you know, it's going to be really easy to be able to say, man, that was it. We're done. But like, we're going to go so much higher. Like, that is going to be the biggest point of opportunity, I think, for the average person is whenever that dip does come again, right? And I'm not talking a freaking capo type of dip, right? I'm just talking to cool off, some of these coins that have seen a lot of heat, maybe 30% off where they are right now, something like that. I Whenever that does happen, freaking ape because we're going to go a lot higher next year. Next year and through 2025, I really still believe is going to be insane. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Do you remember what happened last New Year's? Like, everybody was like mad, like aggressively tax loss harvesting at the end of the year, and then immediately come New Year's, everything just absolutely fucking ripped. Can't say I don't know if it can be compared to this year because at least for me, not much harvesting there to do. Um, but
Well, I mean, yeah, like I still think I feel like there should be more harvesting this year than last year, though. I mean, 2022 started high and ended lower, right? So 2023, I feel like started pretty low and is ending relatively higher for a lot of names. So we'll see whether or not that happens. Wouldn't be surprised, you're right, if like sometime in the next week we get a bit of a dip. But yeah, either way, man, a lot of opportunity on the board. Hey, I did think of one person in the audience I want to give a stonk to. Met this dude in Miami in person and in the audience right now the entire time. Give a big shout out to Golden Crypto. Golden, I'm going to hook you up with one just for being here today. Appreciate you, man. So I will DM you, get your ETH address, and hook you up with a stonk. So yeah, it's got to happen. And then that leaves me with one more stonk to give away. Got to figure out what to do with it here in the next few minutes. Tell you what, the last stonk, keep your notifications on for the LedgArt account, and we'll come up with something with that for that to give that one away. So that'll happen later today. If you're listening right now, you got an edge just by knowing. So be on the lookout for that. We'll come up with something fun. But yeah, like, dude, as far as even the stonks are concerned, I still look at that right now where the ETH ecosystem still holds the majority of liquidity for NFTs. And right now, the ETH NFTs haven't really started. We've seen a little bit of a bounce off the base for some names. Obviously, when you're looking at like, pandas and pudgies, like a couple names that you can look at out there that are really ripping. But across the board, ETH just hasn't seen quite as much of a bid. And I think that it's kind of counterintuitive to what a lot of people said earlier on. I really think, as far as like last cycle, people were like, man, when ETH prices go up, ETH NFTs are probably going to go down because people are going to sell their NFTs for ETH. I think it's going to be the opposite this time around. It's like in the summer of 2021, ETH NFTs didn't really start taking off until ETH started ripping. So I think that we're kind of in that phase right now where people are waiting for a little bit more confidence in ETH and the ETH ecosystem in general. And when that happens, I think that we're going to see a lot of these names that people are sleeping on right now. I think there's a lot of opportunity that people are going to come across as well, just by having a little bit of conviction.
Dude, they still don't know the stonks are fully generative.
Yeah,
Like they no, I'm being
no,
100% for
they
real.
do.
Like they really do not understand, and probably half the people in the audience are like, well, all NFTs are generative. Like
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Like people think you're right. They think it's some type of generative as far as, oh, we took some type of charts that actually existed out there and, just turn them into whatever this script is for randomizing the different colors and lines. Like, you're right. They don't realize that it was an algo that wrote the price action, bucketed the different types of price action, um, you know,
You know,
basically
it'd be
put
cool.
everything. What's that?
Is that, it'd be cool if you could get Hondo to whip up like a on the LedgArt website, just like an animate, like a quick animation, and you can like input a Wonky Stonk and then watch it be generated like live in like a 20-second animation or something.
I was actually talking to Hondo recently where I think it's time to give the website a little bit of a rehaul. So I think that, a rehaul of the website is coming, and that would be a decent idea to be able to add on there. I like that. Kind of just the history. I'll see if I can get him to do that. I think it'd be cool if we could do a quick little video where it's just kind of embedded in there and he gave a history kind of the thought process just as from the artist's perspective.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I agree.
Yeah, I'll definitely work with him on that. But yeah, dude, anything else you got lined up for Christmas?
Nah, just Me, girlfriend, and the animals kicking it for Christmas Eve and Christmas. You know, we're gonna have a great time. It dumped last night. It snow, so it'll be a snowy Christmas here in Denver. Um, yeah, just relax, watch some Christmas movies, try and be pre-rich all the time, and
Hey, bro, that's the thing. I'm like, I forget what DM that I said that in recently. I'm like, I'm both past rich and I'm future rich. But right now, I am I am neither. You know, just pre-rich would be the the thing to describe it. So we're all in that boat, but it's going to be a good next couple of years, man. I'm excited. I think just again being able to stick around, the commitment that the people that are in here right now on average have shown, I really think the majority of people in here are going to make it. You've got all the opportunity in the world, just continuing to do what you've done by showing up. Not sure exactly what that looks like. It's going to look different for each and every individual, but you are going to have opportunity that I think just lands in your lap if you are actively involved with some of these communities out here. So that's the encouragement right now here, the day before Christmas Eve, is
one more thing I want to add to that too is don't take it so hard if you miss something. Like, even if you see your friends winning on something that you missed, there will always be another one. Don't get slumped out and start, trying to revenge trade and trade with emotions. It will go the exact opposite way you want it to. There will always be another. That's the thing.
Amen. Good advice, my man. All right. I love you guys. I will DM each one of you as soon as possible. If not, I promise I have notes of everybody that's getting a stonk written down. I always get them delivered, even if it's not always the timeline that people expect. I never forget about you. I never forget about you. So it's coming. Golden, I'm DMing you now for this because I like just shoot me your ETH address before I forget. I'm gonna try to get these knocked out before I go back downstairs to the family. Got the afternoon Christmas Eve service coming up here in a bit that I got to get ready for. But I love you guys. Appreciate you, DJs, showing up on the weekend like this, day before Christmas. Wonky Stonks are inevitable. And we will see you guys next week. Should be Friday next week. Well, let's see. Is Friday the 30? Friday is the 29th. Yeah. Should be Friday. So we will see you coming up here Friday for episode 97.
Cheers, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year as well. In case we don't hop on another space. Probably will, though.
All right. Take it easy, y'all.